necessarily seen as much of it in competitive play, apart from coming out of Gia there in the mid lane. But it is going to be banned away. Second time round here for Starhorn Royal Club. Nidalee as well, and Thresh hitting the bench with the Lulu on the other side. And World Elite have been banning Thresh a lot. Usually not really wanting to pick that one up, more than happy to go with other supports. So always seem to be taking that one away. But it's also, you can't let Zero have it. Yeah,
Zero, of course, fantastic with disengaged supports, really only leaving him with the Nami or maybe the Janna. I'm expecting 3 bans to go towards that. And we'll see exactly what they want to take away from Spirit here. Is it going to be the Rek'Sai? Is that something that Insect is looking to first pick?
And can you really ban away Spirit?
You can't ban away Spirit, but there are 2 very strong junglers on this patch.
Yeah, well, that's very true. Rek'Sai probably going to be either first picked or banned away right here from World Elite if they want to. Ahri, of course, hitting the bench as well. That's going to leave LeBlanc available. And if Royal Club, if they fall for the trap here of picking up the Rek'Sai first, say World Elite throw away a different ban, then that could be the LeBlanc for UJ in the mid lane, for GA in the mid lane, and that's terrifying.
Yeah, it certainly is a very good matchup coming through, and without the Diana, without Ahri available, there are very little matchups left that deal extremely well, and it is another ban directed towards Zero. So much respect, and it looks like they're going to take the LeBlanc for Korn.
That's going to give Rek'Sai
licks his lips and locks in the Rek'Sai.
And putting Spirit on a champion that's that high impact and that that strong at the moment, that is terrifying. Aluka thinking about Darius. I'm not sure whether that one's going to come through. Of course, Maokai a little bit more standard here as that big tank in the top lane. And Aluka more than happy to pick up the super tanks.
Yeah, it certainly is. And the Maokai, the Sion, they seem to be the 2 go-to champions right now for World Elite's top laner. I like what it does. It balances their compositions very well because Spirit has the choice of, does he want to get the Hex Drinker early and go a little bit more aggressive, or does he want to go for the, I guess, pure tank Rek'Sai, and actually swapping it over at the last minute, locking in the Morgana.
Yeah, and is that sort of a disengaged choice pick away here, potentially coming through against Zero? Because he could just go to the Nami. I'm not entirely sure. The flex pick of the Morgana could be going anywhere.
Yeah, it certainly does seem to be the case, and they're not even looking for disengage at the moment. They're hovering very heavy engage in the form of Maokai, in the form of Leona. Not sure if they think that Kohler is picking this away, because I'm sure that Aluka is sitting there going, yeah, but I play 2 champions the exact same way. And they actually do go for a disengaged support, so you're exactly correct. Nami there deals with the Morgana lane relatively well.
Yeah, and Zero also just loves picking Nami so that it can be Nami and Name in the same lane, and it's really frustrating to talk about. World Elite, now their choice to work out what they're going to play. Of course, Gia going to have to change his mind a little bit here in the mid lane. Does love playing champions like the Ahri and the Diana, and of course, that LeBlanc, but looking at a Victor.
Yeah, and that's a brave call. Victor historically doesn't do great with champions that can get in his face and delete him relatively quickly, that low health
Well,
pool.
in and out as well, that's the thing.
Yeah, because of course that Storm not able to follow at top speed, but does lock it in, and I am so shocked by this Sion pickup, Atlas. Aluka taking that into the top lane.
Your sarcasm is palpable, Spawn, as Name probably not going to be locking in the Urgot, although I would be very excited if that was to come. Crazier things have happened. Okay, I'm not going to make any statements here, and you know, Keen just played it on Gravity in the North American LCS. That guy plays it in the mid lane. Korn might play it. We might have an AD carry LeBlanc. Who knows?
Yeah. Definitely stranger things have happened this week.
Have they? Yeah, actually they have. That's a very good point. Jarvan being looked at here for Insect. Pretty standard. Not necessarily standard for Insect, as anything other than standard is generally standard for that guy. As Name looking at the Cogmore, but the Jinx. I very much like this pickup.
Yeah, it goes back to the Jinx, so a very big hyper carry. 2-threat lineup coming through here, with Korn and Name having very high burst potential as well as persistent damage on that Jinx. Throw in the AoE for a little bit of good measure, and you have a very good 5v5 team fight, but they do lack a little bit of damage to take out maybe Aluka. Name, that's going to be his sole job late game, to try and beat through the brick wall that is top lane Sion. My most disliked champion at the moment on Summoner's Rift.
Hey, unless that's Gia playing Sion in the mid lane, much like we saw in the LCK last night.
Yeah, there is a potential for that.
That was into a LeBlanc, I believe. Banner of Command. Sort of the standard build for Sion.
For mid lane Sion?
Of course. There's only been one thus far. Mystic is going to take away the Graves, though, so it's going to be the Graves Morgana lane. A lot of catch potential, a lot of pick-out burst damage to come through down there. But, of course,
I think that
Name's going to be pretty safe.
I actually think Morgana Graves is a very bad lane, and I think they lane swap. I don't know whether they can take it into the Jinx with all the range she's going to have. That Tide Caller's Blessing is just going to augment the auto attack so well. And you also struggle to push in a Jinx because she farms so well effectively underneath the turret, has the ability to counter push with the rockets as well. So I just think that in this situation, you have so much more to gain from lane swapping. Let Aluka deal with the 2v1.
Yep, and here is the most boring top lane that you can possibly go into if they were to actually face off 1v1. Insect versus Spirit there in the jungle, pretty standard, but Spirit probably getting the better end of that deal. And Korn versus GA. Korn with a nice matchup here in the mid lane.
Yeah, it certainly does. And you talk about dynamic matchups, so much damage coming out of both mid laners. And Name versus Mystic, it's going to be the Jinx versus the Graves. Heavily outranged there is Mystics. And Zero's going to pick up his Nami.
Yep, Zero right back on the fish yet again. More than happy to pick up that champion and has shown great prowess on anything with any disengage options. And Nami's definitely one of those. So going to be working well, and we'll see how they manage to as we hop onto the Rift. And here we are, ladies and gentlemen, with Starhorn Royal Club taking on Team WE. And we'll see exactly who's going to be able to clinch these points and whether it's going to be those 3 points so needed for both of these sides as World Elite trying to claw their way back from the bottom of the standings, and Royal Club now trying to utilize the fact that they have their star AD carry now on their lineup.
Well, of course, WE have secured the fact that they're not last spot anymore. That lies solely with Energy Pacemaker after their 2-0. So WE still 1 game clear as we see Aluka bullying out Cola early. So much damage.
And it begins, ladies and gentlemen. The wettest of wet noodle fights. Well, Puddle going to be put down by UJ. Picks up, 10 gold already. WE in the lead. Oh, does he? No. Doesn't find anyone as Korn is poking his head around, but no one's going to get any deep vision here on this map, and you can see it might actually be that 2v2 matchup that you said Royal Club probably don't want.
No, I think it's WE that
probably don't want. Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah, so they're sending Morgana back now to, I think she got enough gold to maybe pick up some extra potions or something in that like. So we'll be heading back into the bottom lane. So it will be the 2v2. Look like Cola dropped his saplings and now Korn is guarding them. So he'll be able to grab the 3 little saplings just off the back of that, trying to keep Victor away.
They do have a ward there as well, and not actually going to be sort of destroying Aluka here. As
Victor got one.
Did he?
Yep. Korn got 2, Victor got 1. Unfortunately, in the top lane, Maokai got none.
And we've been seeing people sort of realizing that Sion is going to do this and kill himself and take down the Raptors. But of course, Royal Club this time not actually going to be doing anything about it. Zero takes most of his health in damage at level 1.
It's so hard to, I guess, force out supports nowadays because they have so much sustain, not only through their potions, but in their kit as well. And you can see already, Name trading back extremely efficiently.
Yeah, UJ takes half of his health as well. So Mystic definitely down low. He's just going to quick draw in. Of course, level 2 was achieved before Royal Club here in the bottom lane. Just poking his head out of that brush here as well. Level 2 still going very aggressive here as Insect was hanging around. Ooh, the Ignite down onto Mystic here as well. The rockets coming through. There's the quick draw. Mystic takes so much damage. There's the Dark Binding, but Mystic's is going to die as Insect comes through onto this one. Beautiful ebb and flow from Zero for the extra
Can they give it across?
Heal. And can Nami pick it up? The Zap not going to find it, but the auto attack's there. And Insect, I was not expecting him to give that kill away.
Yeah, I was about to say, that is the first time I have ever seen Insect hold an auto attack that would have secured a kill.
That's ridiculous.
Gave it across to his AD carry, picked up one for himself, and a fantastic early game gank. It looks like Spirit trying to return the favor into this bottom lane. Maybe looking for Name to get greedy and stick around, but he is. This is dangerous.
This is very dangerous. Tycaller's Blessing just to try and push out this wave here, but Zero and Name very, very
available.
low.
It is for Spirit.
Yeah, the Flash on Burrow does come through. Beautiful Aqua Prison from Zero with the last bit of his mana as Mystic. He's going to blow the heal and picks up the kill. So World Elite, they managed to get one back.
Name is being criticized for his laning. That is another lane mistake, not giving any respect to Spirit being able to come in here. And wow, Aluka.
Aluka on the aggressive. This man has something to prove. Knocking up Insect, putting him in a situation he doesn't want, and then walking away. Sending a message
It
here.
is. Sometimes it's not about the result. It's just about sending a message. And Aluka,
message was received, most definitely.
do not come near my top lane, Insect.
I have discovered where the jungler is, team. He's at the blue buff. Unfortunately, unable to do any damage to speak of. As Cola is behind a few creeps here as well. Of course, Aluka picking up the Raptors there, so does have a couple more numbers next to his name, but still farming it out quite nicely.
Yeah, and this is the thing about Sion. This is why his E got nerfed, because you just cannot deny the man farm. He is so good at just range farming with that E and being able to shield himself up with a W. As we see, this lane is so rough for Mystic and UJ.
Yeah, Name's just hanging out by himself. He's got Zero there to throw in an ebb and flow and a Tide Callers whenever he feels like it. And this Jinx is just having her way with the lane.
Yeah, and they're just leaving Zero in that brush in case Spirit tunnels in through there and just keeping himself topped up with that ebb and flow. I really like how they're playing this bottom lane. Spirit, of course, nowhere to be seen because he's on the top side of the map, just happily farming away.
Doesn't quite have the Void Rush there available. Of course, Rek'Sai able to traverse the map pretty quickly, but not until level 6.
Even before level 6, that tunnel network that you can set up is just so good. As we see Tycaller's Blessing coming out on Name, not actually going to be able to get any harass off with it.
There's one of them. Black Shield is going to be put down onto Mystic here as well. Does get rid of some of that damage from the ebb and flow, but Royal Club definitely in control of this bottom side of the map. Spirit going to take away the Rift Scuttler as we head back here as well. Dark Binding that was a gimme from UJ. My goodness, that was so incredibly close, but doesn't find Name as Cola going to use that flash very early on. Spirit not going to be able to find the kill, but successful gang before he even got there.
Yeah, no, but Sion was heading back with a full head of steam and would have definitely been a dangerous time to stick around if you were Cola. So using it early, making sure that he doesn't die, but the 3-man dive is going to come through.
Yeah, Preyseeker going to find Cola here as well. And Gia sitting up in this top side.
That was his only choice.
Yeah, Cola able to clear out the wave, but there's the twisted advance in defense as Gia almost dies here as well, but they do successfully manage to dive the tree.
Yeah, and that was the best you could have hoped for there. Walk up to the wave, make sure that you're tanking the creeps off the turret so that they're taking turret shots before it even begins. Nearly pays off in the top lane for Cola, but at the end, it will be another kill over to World Elite.
Yeah, but Dragon did fall for Royal Club. Name able to push out that wave, help pick up that Dragon there as well as Insect managing to pick that one up. Has fallen behind on the farm just a little bit, but not going to worry about that too much with the first blood and an assist in his back pocket as well, giving him a whole lot of extra money. And he's just going to do a little bit of counter jungling before he makes his way out here. And you can see the bottom side of the map warding from Royal Club really shows that they want Name to carry this game.
Yeah, that's where all of their focus is. Name's been able to pick up a CS advantage, although Graves now has that BF sword, so he's going to be a terror to lane against. Probably the one time that this lane will go heavily in his favor. As we see Name still trying to get aggressive. Top lane, more trouble.
Yeah, the tunnel going through, but Gia, he's ignited here in the mid lane. The chains are going to go off, and Korn picks up the 1v1. Cola continues to get dove. He's going to get knocked up there by the decimating smash, but Aluka almost dying to the turret, and they have to be pretty careful.
Certainly doing. They saw Spirit in the top lane, and blue buff has now spawned. They have a ward on it. Interested to see if they rotate any members across there, although Aluka's teleport is available.
Yeah, and Korn playing that mid lane engage that happened whilst everything else was going on as well, playing it so beautifully, managing to land everything that he needed to, not worrying about the gravity field because, of course, the Ignite was already there. Spirit actually going to come and find Insect trying to take away this blue buff. Spirit not wanting anything to do with it.
No, so he's going to back away. Insect, of course, not level 6.
Yeah, Dark Binding forcing the flash out of Insect. 300 health there on the jungler as Mystic's going to make his way through here at the same time. The tunnel to come through underneath. Preyseeker finds Zero. He needs to land.
Name hasn't responded. That is... He plays the lane very aggressively for a man that is on an immobile carry.
Yeah. Jie is going to find that this Raptor is being destroyed. Insect not going to be able to take that one down as Yujie and Spirit are going on a excursion through the enemy bot side jungle.
Yeah, potentially looking for a dive on this LeBlanc in the mid lane. Although it's very hard to catch a LeBlanc, especially when she has blue buff. So they give up, go back. Just doing some counter jungling for themselves. And Insect going to be able to pick up his own blue buff. Maybe we'll give it over onto his mid lane. Actually will. So the blue buff refresh coming through for Korn.
Yeah, Korn, of course, with that solo kill that he picked up in the mid lane, in the mid lane before, he's able to carry this game now. He's got the beginnings of his snowball, so you may as well just give more gold, give more mana regen, give him all of the statistics that he needs in order to do that.
Yeah, the big thing about the blue buff as well, and you notice it if you don't get it donated over you, is it's a lot of experience early on in the game as well. So Korn going to be in a very good position to be able to have that as he's hopping over some walls to be able to go for this gank in the top lane on Aluka. No, just hops back.
Yeah, heads back to his original distortion and just wanted to, I don't know, check out the Baron pit. I hope it was good. Going to be able to just distort this wave out too, as Jie did head back to base, has got the first augmentation of that Hex Core and a Null Magic Mantle here as well, probably going towards that Abyssal Scepter as one of his earlier items. We'll see what he does decide to do, because we've seen Victor's pick up a whole lot of different things here. Of course, we saw just earlier the second augmentation very early on, but now it seems to be that Abyssal Scepter with, of course, makes a lot of sense. Victor not a high range, able to get a lot of that damage down within the range of the Abyssal Scepter.
I think it's a little bit more of a simple answer. It's, can the other AP mid laner kill me outright if I don't have magic resist? If answer yes, build Abyssal Scepter. So there is a kind of trade of thoughts that comes through when you're playing Victor. If you're not in a position to die, you can go in a very aggressive build, as we saw today, throw in Lich Banes and all kinds of crazy things, because he really does well with every AP item. But if you are going to die, you do need to have that Abyssal Scepter just there to keep yourself alive in these little bursty trades, because he does so much persistent damage if he is allowed to.
Yeah, I know. I just got excited. I'm not going to lie to you, but, you know, Abyssal Scepter's still going to work. But yes, stopping him from dying. And I think that probably applies to most people in the mid lane, as he does have that Death Ray augmentation here as well. So he's going to be able to clear out these waves relatively quickly as Jie. Still behind about 10 CS. Name going to throw a zap at Spirit. Those Chompers not going to be able to do too much, as the Black Shield was available from Yujie there as well. Mystic actually ahead now in farm. Yeah,
Mystic doing well on this, Graves. It was the timing of the BF swords, as we see in the top lane as well. Aluka once again securing another lane win. Sure, he got an early dive that came through, but he didn't pick up the gold himself and has been able to consistently stay ahead in this farm. Looking to continue to bully.
Yeah, and Aluka is going to be such a problem here in the later stages of the game as well, just because Jinx, a mobile carry like you said, and before she gets excited, going to be very hard to dodge out of the way of any of Sion's CC. If that unstoppable onslaught comes through and lands onto Name, you have to think that Spirit's going to be there, Mystic's going to throw out a collateral damage, and Name might just die outright.
Yeah, and the other thing is that he's just going to be that much tankier than Kohler as this game goes on. Of course, with Sion probably being the best super tank in the game at the moment. Doesn't have the highest damage, but has so much disruption that there's going to be no choice but Name to hit Sion, which is just not a great position to be in. Doesn't want to have to unload all of the damage, whereas you look at Graves, a lot of his kit AoE can shoot through the tank. The collateral damage is going to hit everyone. The buckshot is going to be off cooldown, not to mention the fact that he can reposition very easily around the fight with that quick draw. So even though very short range AD carry Graves, probably going to have an easier job dealing one-on-one with the Maokai than this Jinx is going to have with the Sion.
Yeah, well, of course, Name, a fantastic hyper carry player in the later stages of the game. We'll see whether he can get past all of the issues that may arise.
That's a really good ward from Zero over the top of that wall to make sure that he can see exactly when Spirit goes underneath and goes into that nice position that he has been with a gank. So heads up play out of the support player as we see A lot of that damage now mitigated for GA.
Yeah.
Having a much easier time in this mid lane. However, behind a very long way in farm.
Yeah, Luca now with that Banshee's Veil already completed as his first item. Interesting choice, just becoming that mega tank as you were talking about. And that's what Scions do, just build up as many resistances as you can.
Yeah, he gives very little cares at the moment about whatever this Maokai wants to do in the top lane. Just able to continue to bully, continue to farm. There is no way now with that Banshee's Veil that he ever gets forced off away by just the Maokai. Probably even if you bring the Jarvan up there, not going to accomplish overly much.
Yeah, but Cola's still, you know, only down by about 14 CS. He's still a Maokai. He's still going to be fine. We'll just see how this game ends up. 400 gold now the lead for World Elite. Of course, no dragons to speak of. Dragon falling down earlier for Royal Club, as it has now respawned as well. No one actually positioning around Dragon here.
Yeah, so that's the strange thing about this. The early Dragon did go down, but not able to get it on cooldown, as you normally would expect a team that has been winning the early game. And it's all because of the fact that Mystics has been able to have a fantastic second part of the early game, getting all of the CS advantage back and really start to bully this lane. You see Name looking for ins and outs with those long-range rockets, but not really finding much.
No, and actually forced back here as well. Spirit shows himself towards the bottom side. They're going to be able to get rid of this pink ward here at the same time. So World Elite able to get some position here in the top lane, continuing to hit each other with meaningless skills. Interesting stuff. Corn picks up another blue buff, and
they've got the blue time, so they're going to actually start up the Dragon. Heads up play coming through, see if the Super Mega Death Rocket can steal it away.
We'll see whether Name's even going to throw it out here as well. As World Elite, they have a lot of burst damage. Rocket coming through. Oh, doesn't quite manage to get it, and Spirit's going to smite that one away, but it was a decent try.
Yeah, it certainly was, and it's definitely worth the effort, but now it's just one Dragon and one Dragon, so not a huge deal. The fact that Starhorn Royal Club weren't able to pick that one up, but we grabbed there first, and they've really started to equalize the game that through Insect's first gank in that bottom lane, had the chance to snowball out of control, but since then, it looks like they are just willing to play this hyper carry style, let the lanes farm up, and even though Name falling behind, 20 CS isn't really that much to have the Jinx insurance policy in your back pocket.
Yeah, nice use of those Trumpers as well to check that brush as Spirit down here yet again. They do have vision control this time as UJ is going to get caught by that Acro Prison. Ooh, Zap comes through onto Mystic. There's the combo to come down as well, blowing the heal from Name. Mystic's going to get ignited here as well from Zero. Spirit thinking about a potential dive, knows that Insect is around. Of course, that Tremor Sense did spot him out, but Insect going to be heading back to base as Jia going to clear out this mid wave as well, and Korn free to roam.
And I love what Spirit has done. He went top lane, solidified that lane. Now he realizes very low kill potential for either top lane as they're just going to farm up and equalize. Doesn't bother going mid lane because the defensive items already come through from GA, so he's not really in that much risk of dying. And now has set up a luxury resort in the bottom lane, continuing to camp out Name. No summoner spells again for this Jinx, and falling even further behind in CS. So really compliment Spirit for being able to get down there as often as possible and help his lane into a winning position. It looks like Insect will return the favor now. They'll be able to take out the turret, but that's a really good early laning phase for WE.
Yeah, Mystic 20 CS lead. He's going to be absolutely fine with this situation. Not deciding to go for any sort of early game build with the Brutalizers involved. He's just going to pick up that Infinity Edge as his first item. Does have those Berserker's Greaves. Not going to head back just yet. Just going to complete some items here as well. And you have to think that that Infinity Edge very close to being done.
Yeah, he's got 1900 gold, so.
Oh yeah, pretty close. And by that I mean he can definitely buy it if he wants to. Yeah, I can math. Don't worry. I got this.
How much would he have left over?
I don't know. About 400? How much did you say you had?
2,000.
Oh, 2,000. Okay, yeah, have about 700 gold left over. Would he?
I don't know. That's why I asked you.
All right. 550? 650? Something like that. I don't quite remember. It's a bit of an awkward number, isn't it? Finishing the Infinity Edge after a pickaxe and a BF sword. It's like 1375, something like that.
The answer is 550, because he went back with 2,000, grabbed a dagger, actually grabbed a pink ward, so maybe.
Look, I don't think that it's all that necessary to discuss.
Well, there's not really much else happening at the moment.
You'd be talking about the cool pattern that Spirit's made with his tunnels as GA takes a combo.
Yeah, actually, Spirit's tunnel in the bottom half of the map is pretty impressive when you take a look at it. Of course, going to be able to get anywhere he wants now. Getting... Oh, did that just miss?
I believe so.
Yeah, I think that just missed, although he will, through the Tremor Sense, have an idea that Insec is there. Probably not going for an invade, and they've actually rotated Name around into the mid lane, so the fast push coming through from this Jinx composition, wanting to get there as soon as possible.
And they're sort of playing this Jinx. Oh, actually, Name getting caught by the Dark Binding here as well. Spirit, okay. UJ just gets destroyed. Name going to die here at the same time, though, as Zero takes a lot of damage. Chaos Storm doing some work on Nicola, forced to flash away as Korn is going to distort his way out of here, but he gets flashed on. Spirit gets exploded. Korn picks up another one. There just sails by the ultimate from Mystic. And Royal Club, they are going to disengage, but everyone is low or dead, and World Elite going to be able to pick up this turret.
Yeah, they certainly will, and Korn needs to be careful. Ooh, just gets his recall off in time. Fantastic move from WE. And that was just Name getting caught out.
Yep, gets hit by a Dark Binding. Point blank, you have to think. Do you walk up to a Morgana ever like that? I don't think you ever do. That doesn't sound like a good idea to me, as Mystic's going to take down this Rift Scuttler.
And once again, these are just positional errors. This isn't a huge outplay coming through from WE. That is an outright positional error coming through from Name. Just overconfidence, didn't recognize that there was no minions left in that wave. Gets hit by the Dark Binding, and Korn really salvaged that. If he hadn't have blown up UJ, that situation would have been so much worse.
Yeah, and Korn is actually in a position to carry this game here as well. It's not necessarily like they're relying on Name for everything. Of course, they need him for the late game damage.
They need him to get rid of Aluka. Korn will kill everyone else.
Yeah. So as long as Korn can do that, surely it'll be fine. And of course, he can turn his attention to the gigantic Scion sort of just wailing on his team all alone once everybody else is dead.
Across the other side of the map, this Graves really starting to get going. Still 20 CS up, 1-1 and 0 now. You saw how much burst damage came across from the buckshot and collateral damage, but he wasn't there for the whole fight. Now going towards that Phantom Dancer, he's going to be doing some serious work around this next Dragon fight as it spawns in about 35 seconds.
He's going to have some incredible auto attack damage here as well with his current build.
Yeah, definitely agree. This is really not the burst Graves build that we...
Whoa, doesn't quite land the chains to complete the combo, but Korn with that 1-2 punch doing a whole bunch of work.
That was very methodical from Korn as well. He dove in, got one auto attack for the slow, got both of his sigils off, and then went for the chain afterwards to try and be able to nail it from max range. Really can appreciate how he's trying to play this at the moment, although you see GA with that shield, with the now finished Abyssal Scepter, starting to shrug off a little bit more damage.
Yeah, Mystic going to just get out of the way of Korn here. Nice
Mystic
chain.
not shrugging off anything.
No. Korn doing some pretty real damage to this Grave. Spirit actually is going to get closed in on here as Zero gets knocked up. Spirit pretty tanky, but can't take too many auto attacks. As UJ flashing forward here. There's the unstoppable onslaught. Zero's just going to get exploded by the collateral damage. And Aluka now looking for this Jinx. Insect completely out of position as the Dragon just going to get started up. Super Mega Death Rocket not going to find the kill onto Spirit as Aluka just trying to be a brick wall for his team and actually doing a very good job. Cola now finding his way into the fight. There's GM picking up the kill onto Insect as the Chaos Storm onto Name. Cola wants to be able to pick up this kill. Korn comes in, so much burst. UJ going to fall down here at the same time, and Name now coming into this fight, able to turn it around as Spirit trying to run away. Aluka protecting his AD carry. It is a 2-for-1, so there are a lot of members left, but Royal Club, they're still looking for more.
And Spirit comes back in with his ultimate now, going to be looking to re-engage this or maybe even just start up the Dragon again. But Korn going aggressive. Aluka is absolutely monstrous, even at this part of the game. No one can touch him.
Yeah, no, he's got a Glacial Shroud as well, almost with that Frozen Heart as well as the Banshee's Veil. It's a really, really tanky Scion for 22 minutes into the game. You have to think it's Name going to be able to take away some vision, and Korn not going to go back. Luca just says that's silly to back right there, and he's going to move out of the way.
And that'll be the next Dragon over to Team WE. They've pulled it out. They know that the mid laner wants to get back to base. He has no health, and that really is the carry right now as they get some vision through that zap. Korn didn't go back, but he's extremely low. Needs to make sure that he doesn't overcommit on this one. He's 5-0-0. That's a big shutdown.
That is a huge shutdown. But Aluka
luck,
is
boys.
in aggressively, and Korn trying to burst down the Scion. Unstoppable Onslaught is there as well. The Black Shield onto Aluka, but he is finally going to fall down. We'll see whether the passive does any work. Oh, he respawns and blocks the Super Mega Death Rocket as Mystic. He's going to fall down. Aluka as well. That is going to be Cola falling. Spirit incredibly low. The tidal wave here as well. Slam dunk onto Spirit. And that's more kills for Nami. 2, 2, and 5 now, actually. Managing to pick up a lot of assists in that fight. And Gia, no way he can go back in on this.
But that took so long to kill Aluka there. They're now trying to get Gia. Wow, that was a lot of damage. They're finally in range to get it. They've also brought Korn around the side. We'll be interested to see if he can pick up anything in response.
Oh, he actually just flashes onto Korn here as well. The death ray doesn't quite find him as there's his Mimic to come through. Zero. Not a lot of mana, as we mentioned before, but Name, one auto attack, picks up the kill.
Yeah, so they're able to grab the kill, but that took so long to kill Gia that everyone is now respawned. And once again, Spirit gonna
That
get
ultimate
back
is not on a high cooldown.
into the mid lane, shove this one out, and maybe reset up for the third round of this Dragon Scrap. I don't know what's going on anymore.
Yeah, it's they've definitely been focusing on that one quite a lot, but we'll see whether World Elite Take 3 are going to be able to take this one down as Aluka. He's made it back here. Does have the Warden's Mail now. My goodness, Cola right into the mix here as well. Insect steals away the Dragon. No worries at all as Mystic, he's getting focused down. Super Mega Death Rocket didn't do too much damage, but Insect, he's going to die. Mystic manages to pick up that kill, but Korn, he's in here now. Instantly takes down the AD carry. Spirit, he's getting chained up and destroyed as Name finds his way back into the fight. Cola is so huge. Zero with the ebb and flow. What?
Cola twisted advance, Rek'Sai tunneled, and Cola went with him. How did he fit through the tunnel?
I'm not entirely sure, but I guess he turns into like a little tree guy when he's like twisted advancing on someone.
That was incredible. Whatever happened, it just happened, and all of a sudden, Starland Royal Club in complete control over this game as Atlas gives me a very puzzled expression.
I was genuinely puzzled. That was a very good question.
And 6-0 and 6, Korn proving that there is definitely a realistic second carry on this team. He's going to go back.
Well, he spent the whole season as the primary carry for the team.
3,000 gold. Let's take another look at it. The teleport came in, and Insect with the steal over Spirit. Now I really have seen as much possible happen this season. And Name, he's running back towards the fight. And look how tanky Cola is in this fight the whole time. And this is the bit that I really want you to pay attention to. He goes for the twisted advance here and goes through the tunnel.
Okay. Interesting. I like it.
I really, it was great.
Yeah. I didn't know that it could actually happen.
I didn't know you could target Rek'Sai in the tunnel is what I'm trying to get at.
No, I assume he targeted him before he tunneled, and then he tunneled and brought him with him. Sort of like when you flash after the twisted advance type situation.
Yeah, potentially. It looked to me like the tunnel animation had started, and I thought he was untargetable. Now I'm wondering, can I kick a Rek'Sai out of a tunnel?
Hey, that's a good point.
Assuming your world has opened up.
Yeah, you probably couldn't kick him out of a tunnel if you're any other champion other than
If I'm a Maokai.
Yeah, if you're a Maokai,
but can you arcane smash him out of a tunnel?
I don't know. You'd need to be in a normal game.
Does he go the same trajectory as Valkyrie? Because you know how Valkyrie can stop, for those that don't know, if you're like a Malphite, for example, you can hit Valkyrie halfway through, or you can flay them out of it and do really cool plays. So now I'm starting to wonder, is it a similar mechanic for that tunnel to come through?
No, not entirely sure. We'll have to do some research, and we'll post about it on Twitter later or something like that. Something silly. But in the meantime, let's get back to the game as Spirit is going to take down the Rift Scuttler. Of course, World Elite only behind by about 2,500 gold. So the game is not lost, but when you're facing a team comp that is this powerful in the later stages of the game, it is very dangerous.
Yeah, it certainly is, and you can see now even Aluka getting shoved in a little bit further. Insect has picked up his Banshee's Veil, so he's getting nice and tanky against some magical damage at least, although still will be having a problem with this Graves, who is still pretty big. 3-3 and 2, 50 CS in the advantage, free farming in that bottom lane. But Name, he's picked up his Infinity Edge and Static Shift, going now towards that last Whisper. We'll be looking to get some work done. And wow, that's against a very tanky Scion doing half of his health.
Yeah, that was... How did that even happen? Of course, Abyssal Scepter, Morellonomicon, and the Death Cap completed from Korn. He's pretty strong.
Yeah, he has enough money to go back and pick up his boots as well. Has the double Doran's ring for a little bit of extra tank and mana regen. I definitely appreciate the build he's going for there. And You see a lot of farm now being given over to Name, but Korn, through getting all those early kills, probably comfortable where he is. Graves is in very serious danger every time he approaches anywhere near this LeBlanc, and I think it's about 3 minutes until Dragon's up, so that's probably the next time for the crazy to happen.
Yeah, I wonder how many fights we're going to have around the next Dragon, whether it's sort of one of those things that's going to just increase over time. We get like 7 different fights over and over and over. Bit of gold sitting on the members of World Elite, 1,200 in the pocket of Gia and Spirit, so they probably want to go back and pick up some items before they head back there. But Gia, he probably needs to buy a needlessly large rod and doesn't quite have the money for it just yet.
Yeah, that's probably what he's aiming towards there. Would like to be able to pick that one up. A lot of members in the top lane for 2 minutes before Dragon. We might have a little bit of a scrap over this turret before anything begins.
Yeah, Cola coming up here to defend this outer turret here as well. And Royal Club, they don't want to give anything up. Void Rush into the bottom side of the map, actually, as Cola. He's going to Twisted Advance onto Mystic here as well. He's going to be able to take down that turret as Tidal Wave's going to knock him up. Aluka being massive in the front line as normal. Not going to be hit by those Flame Chompers as the Black Shield is there as well. And successful disengage from World Elite, and they pick up the turret.
Yeah, so they're able to grab the turret. The important thing was the LeBlanc wasn't there, so Starhorn Royal Club really didn't feel comfortable committing to that. Last Whisper was picked up by Name, though, and that's a huge build. Now can deal with what Aluka is bringing into this lane as the laser just misses off the screen. Insect needs to be careful here. Is tanking against the magic damage users? Really isn't against the Graves at this point. Look at the wave clear coming through.
Yeah, of course, that Death Ray definitely spells exactly that as Aluka coming through the unstoppable onslaught, and Cola is going to be the target here, but Spirit's just going to die instantly. Name's going to flash out of the way here as well as the flash forward into the bubble. Super Mega Death Rocket onto UJ. Look at the double knockups to come down here at the same time as Korn over in the backside. Mystic taking some poke, but it's only going to be Spirit that dies thus far in this one, and Royal Club looking pretty good to try and take down this turret.
Yeah, certainly are, and Korn still looking for the flank. He's off screen. There he is right there. Does a lot of damage. Oh, Name got caught.
Yeah, caught by another one here as he gets knocked up as well. Is going to die, but Mystic as well. The trade of the AD carries as Aluka now just trying to be huge in the front line. The teleport coming through from Cola. He head back to base and now has the home guards. Twisting advance onto Aluka. This is going to take an incredibly long time, ladies and gentlemen, and Spirit finds his way back into the fight as well. These super tanks make these team fights go for so long. Korn waiting off to the side, looking to see whether he can grab anything. Ward into the brush there. They know that Korn's available. Cola, he might be caught. Gia is going to be there, and he's going to have some actual damage. Maybe. Is he? Cola? Yeah, he's going to die.
So eventually he falls, the mighty tree. And that was with 1,000 gold that he hadn't spent. So another...
He just teleported in.
Maybe he did it really quickly, though, and couldn't click.
Oh, yeah. That's
or
true.
he doesn't want to sell one of his rings, because he's going for the gold-efficient builds that are coming through.
Hey, that's actually probably a pretty good point.
Yeah, so we see that he did fall in the end.
He did end up selling them.
8-0-6 is now the scoreline for Korn, and you see that he really is the high-damage threat in this lineup. Mystic probably needs to be careful now, although Korn goes over the wall.
No, Insect, he's missed the flag and drag. Does have his flash, but doesn't want to have to use it as the rest of Royal Club, they're coming around to Luca teleporting in here at the same time. Who's going to get it? It is going to be Spirit to pick that one up, and Insect going to fall down. Name, he's going to get flashed on Unstoppable Onslaught there as well as Name. He just gets exploded. Zero, you are not going anywhere as he gets destroyed. Aqua Prison not going to find the mark, and a beautiful fight for World Elite.
Yeah, fantastic. The willingness to flash over the wall as a Luca to get that fight restarted. It's just a great play coming through there. Absolutely huge for his team. 1, 2, and 6. 7 of 13 kill participation. This might actually mean the Baron, although they still need to be very aware of the assassination potential coming through onto the back line.
Yeah, Gia is still very squishy despite having that Abyssal Scepter. UJ taking a whole lot of damage, but that is going to be the ultimate on cooldown for another half a second. And Baron goes down, so Spirit able to lock that one down, and Mystic with a lot of damage there to help out. Perfect Hex score has been completed here from GA as well. He's doing a lot of damage. He's probably going to be able to go back now and complete that Rabbidan's death cap. Definitely, easily. And another Blasting Wand as well if he wants it. Finishes off the boots, picks up some Mercury Threads as well. So a lot of magic resist now onto this Victor. And it's a different build than what we saw prior, but is going to work out because, of course, That's the damage that he's got to mitigate. It's Korn that can delete this guy.
Yeah, and it's not only that, it's the twisted advance coming through, how sticky Cola is. I really do value tenacity on these short-range mid laners that need to put out persistent damage. So definitely think that he's on the right track with his build here. He's going to be deceptively tanky through the Merc Treads as well as the Abyssal Scepter and be able to reposition himself at will around these fights. And once again, Name's positioning hasn't looked on point today. He ate a Dark Binding, he had a Luca flashing on top of him. And that's even with the peel that's coming through from Zero. Hasn't looked himself and starting to get picked on in the team fights.
Oh my goodness, how did that Dark Binding hit? Onto Korn, out of nowhere. UJ is going to fall down for it, but it was some beautiful mechanics. The Cataclysm to come through here as well as Aluka. He's getting exploded somehow in this fight. Mystic, why are you so far forward? That is going to be Name picking up that kill as Aluka now looking to pick up the AD carry, but he's excited. He doesn't care. Able to run forward. GA is going to die, and Spirit, the only man left.
Yeah, sieging with 4 people against a 5-man team. Big mistake coming through from WE. Spirit was nowhere near there. He might be looking for Korn on the backside here. Is very tanky. Korn misses out there, and Spirit just trying to grab the minion wave so they can't push on anything. Great call out of Royal Club. Shot calling. Just go towards the top lane. Be able to pick out that outer.
Yeah, the inner turret there in the top lane is going to fall down. Spirit gets caught by the chains here as well, but Korn probably not going to be able to finish off Spirit as he does have that Banshee's Veil giving him a whole bunch of magic resist along with those Mercury Shreds, and doesn't quite have the Void Rush up and is just going for a wander in the enemy base.
Yeah, certainly does look to be the case. He's escaped them all. Although Insect now moving in for another pincer. Might look to get his revenge.
Doesn't have the Cataclysm. And like ships in the night, the junglers pass each other. A lot of interesting stuff like that happening. Preyseeker going to find Name here as well. Spirit with some decent warding around here at the same time. Name going to take down some turrets, some tunnels, and everything going to go back to normal.
Yeah, but 2,600 gold now on Name. He's going to be able to go back, potentially finish up the Mercurial Scimitar, or grab himself some lifesteal if he wants to.
You have to think he wants to pick up that Bloodthirster as his next option.
Yeah, but he doesn't have enough gold, just falling short. So he can either go another BF Sword and trust his positioning, or grab the Vamp Scepter and, I guess, rely on that. Does go for the Merc Scimitar, so doesn't go... Ooh, he reverses it.
Yep, hasn't quite made up his mind. BF Sword is going to be the option. Because, of course, he couldn't complete also any life still. Of course, still doesn't have any, but wants to go for that Bloodthirster as his next option. Spirit going to be split pushing here on the top side, does have that ultimate available, the pseudo teleport.
Okay, so one thing I do want to point out is he didn't get an Elixir. So the reason this is so important is because Elixir now gives you, of course, some form of lifesteal in the form of it gives you healing to how much damage you pump out. So it's not exactly the same thing as lifesteal, but it's very similar in stats.
Yep.
So that's the opportunity. If they're going to fight within the next couple of minutes, which they are because Dragon is coming up, I really do think that Elixir was the correct decision because now he has absolutely no way to regenerate.
Yeah, Cola, though, taking so much damage. The unstoppable onslaught straight onto this Mega Tank, who's not looking as tanky now as he might fall down. Spirit picks up the kill there as Insect. He's very far in this fight, just trying to use that one in order to disengage. The Aqua Prison going to find Mystic. Don't know how Zero managed to do that. That was ridiculous as that minion not going to find the slow. Insect being slowed down though now as Flame Trump is going to stop Spirit from coming any further forward.
But they're going to follow the wave in. They're so tanky they can just jump in, take this one up. They'll break the base.
Yeah, Naluka just in that front line as well, tanking up the zaps like it means nothing. Uses his shield to do so. Name with the Tycaller's Blessing, bit of extra speed, but not going to be enough as Korn is going to try and throw out some parting gifts here, and the turret falls down. The inhibitor goes as well.
They're not done yet. They still recognize 6 seconds. They're going to grab another turret for themselves, so they picked themselves up a 2,000 gold lead off that one team fight, but Teleport is coming through.
Yeah, Teleport from Cola. They're looking for the flank. Mystic does have the Banshee's Veil, so Cola not going to be able to twisted advance onto him. Korn takes so much damage from Mystic, and they're fighting in the choke here as well. Pretty good for Aluka as Zero trying to get some damage off to the side. Some CC in there as Name able to shoot all the members of World Elite. These rockets are tearing through these members as Insect's going to fall down. Zero's going to get flanked on as well, and he's going to die. It is going to be Mystic falling down. Cola looking for something, but GA is massive on this Victor. And Cola, not a whole lot of damage for himself as UJ just black shields himself. And Gia picks up another kill.
Yeah, and they won a team fight again, 4 for 1. It was a very long, drawn-out occasion, and you thought that might have been the team fight that Starhorn Royal Club needed because they were all grouped up and a lot of AoE damage coming through from the Jinx. But in the end, Aluka too tanky. Just too much zone control coming out of Gia with that gravity field, with the Death Ray, and WE pick up another miracle team fight, and they might look to grab another dragon.
Does the splash... Oh, actually, Spirit is very close to dying.
Didn't ignite.
Yeah, Korn is going to be able to catch up. There's the ignite. Didn't need it for that time. Might have been better to do it before. Is the distortion going to get him back to Aluka, who was waiting patiently. Dark Binding not going to find Korn as he face plants that wall just to get out of the way of the Dark Binding. But don't chase a LeBlanc. This takes a very long time, and you are often sad afterwards.
You often die afterwards. If Korn's taught us anything.
Oh, shit. UJ, that was beautiful. Actually, going back towards there. Mystic is going to be able to pick up the shutdown, and the 10-0-9 Korn is going to fall.
Yeah, so he finally goes down, but you have to think that this game really has lied solely on his shoulders for quite some time now. Jinx doing a lot of...
Oh my goodness, that was so close.
No one was there, so it probably wouldn't have detonated.
Ah, good point. Oh, no. Yeah, yeah, okay, yeah. Didn't realize. So, still, would have been pretty close.
Would have been really close.
Yeah, just not...
Looked good.
Would have just sailed through the dragon. Baron is going to respawn, though, and World League going to start that one up as Insect looking for a potential steal out the back. They do have a ward there as well. Not actually spotted here or destroyed by World Elite as the tidal wave comes over. Insect not going to be able to manage to get that one as he flags and drags his way over the wall. Collateral damage is going to secure the kill. Korn still not alive just yet. Cola just gets destroyed. Double kill for Mystic. 9, 6, and 9 on this Graves. And he's been getting killed in a lot of these fights, but somehow managing to pick up a whole bunch of kills for himself.
Yeah, and he's very far ahead at the moment. He's actually gone for another Vamp Scepter to finish off his build, so we'll get the Bloodthirster if the game lasts that long, but it doesn't look like it's going to. They're on the base.
Yeah, the tanks are actually still dead here as well. No one to tank any of the damage coming through from World Elite, and Aluka just more than happy to tank up these turrets. The first Nexus turret does fall down. Cola looking to try and get something done. Super Mega Death Rocket comes in. Korn with a whole lot of damage, but he's going to die to Mystic, and Spirit gets the knock up on Name. Spirit, what the heck? Mystic with so much burst takes down the Nexus, and World Elite, they take down Royal Club in the first match.
Yeah, and that's huge news for WE. They're starting to build momentum. You can feel it. There is a turn in the LPL coming, and Royal Club, once again, great early game. They had a lot of pressure built up because Korn was playing that so well. But Cola, not really impressive towards the later parts of the game.
Aluka, really impressive towards the later parts of the game.
Yeah, and Name wasn't doing as much as Mystic in those team fights.
Yeah, this wasn't Name's Jinx that we saw in his sort of debut game when he came into the LPL just recently, and wasn't able to have sort of that star power positioning that he's known for.
Yeah, and when you get the first kill and you get an assist, you just need to back out of the lane. Make sure you don't stick around. Death timers aren't that long. They gave it back, and you felt that was the point that really pulled WE into a good position.
Yeah, but we'll see whether they can learn from those potential mistakes as we hop into Game 2 just after this.